Hello everyone, my name is Rochelle Innocent and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that are focused on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. And we are so thrilled to be offering one of the first of its kind digital, virtual, and continuous learning environments connecting parents and children from all around the world. At Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and rebuild family, community, and relationship. Our different social media platforms provide us with an opportunity to have discussions on all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health and education play a role and have played a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures for us to live up to our bold slogan: support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, this also translates as recreating and co-creating environments, both socially and politically, that will enable our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we also write thought pieces every other Sunday, and we actually just dropped a thought piece this past Sunday. So be sure to meander over to the website and check out our online content. If it is the case that you are looking for a listening alternative, well, we're available on 10 different podcast platforms for your listening leisure, and we've offered you the links in the description down below. Now, as is the convention, be sure to subscribe, hit that post notification bell so that you are aware of every time we post. And of course, if you like these conversations and you want to keep them going, like, comment, and share this segment. Let's get into it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you today? For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis. And today our topic of discussion is mental health. Now, I've spoken a lot about distractions and just how distractions are truly a hindrance on growth and progress in each of our individual lives. But I've never given you any tips on how to mitigate and manage distractions. So that's what this segment is going to be about. Quick, light, fun video on different ways that I manage distractions in my life, especially as an entrepreneur. I have to be self-motivated. I have to be disciplined. I have to be mindful about how much of my time gets cannibalized by distractions. So I figured, why not share the wealth and give you my 3 tips on how to manage distractions in your life. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the segment. My first tip for you is no-go zones. So I think that it's very important that we treat certain times as sacred. And this could be time with a spouse, time with yourself. I mean, whatever the time is, it's a no-go zone where you're all in. Like, your attention is all there, you're fully present. And for me, my no-go zones are my wind up, wind down times. So for me, early morning is a no-go zone, it's a no distraction zone. And the same happens for late in the evening. And my technology is aligned to this. So I actually have my do not disturb scheduled to come on at these points in times. And it's really a time for me to tune in and connect with myself. If you're working in a creative capacity, you need to get comfortable spending time on your own, spending time with yourself. And it's just important just in general. So for me, my no-go zones in the morning, I spend time meditating, I spend time reflecting, just reconnecting with myself, making sure that I'm starting my day feeling aligned, feeling refreshed, feeling focused, feeling clear. And at nighttime, I love my wind down time. My nighttime is really great, and I love that I love my wind down time with myself. The fact that I can wind down without necessarily requiring technology. Not to say that after my wind down time, because sometimes I'll do my wind down rituals and then I'm not tired. And if I'm not tired and I have nothing else to do, then whatever, I'll do whatever I want at that point. But I do have windows of time in my day that are no-go flow zones. And I think that that's something that everyone should just integrate. Just time where you're completely present with yourself, or, in whatever capacity you feel requires that sacred attention. My second tip for you is no distraction windows. So I have windows of time that are specifically for productivity, and it's so ingrained in my routine. Like, these are periods of time where my energy needs to contribute to whatever value or impact that I'm hoping to bring to the world around me. And in this period of time, I'm not interested in being distracted. So if I recognize something as a distraction, it just completely gets dismissed. I might doggy take it for later. But I have windows of my time where I want to be productive, where I want to turn, synergy into something tangible, where I want to take that energy and just make something of it. And these are pretty much 4-hour interval blocks throughout my day. And I say 4-hour interval blocks because I am someone who needs movement. I need food. I need pause and repose. I'm not a robot. I'm not someone who likes to work consecutive hours all day long. Like, I'm a human being, and nor do I feel inclined to condition myself to be a robot. But I typically can have 2 to 3 4-hour segments where I'm producing, where I'm completely locked in. My focus is on creating value. And the interesting thing about this is it doesn't always involve me actually providing output, right? So some of these periods of time are spent thinking very deeply about things, or spent like jotting out different notes, drawing, whatever it is, but it's actually very focused time where I'm producing something that's going to turn into something bigger later on down the road. And I do not have the space, the mental, emotional energy or desire to give any of that time away to distractions. And then, of course, lastly, my distraction zone. So I do give myself windows of opportunity where I allow myself to be distracted. And I think that that's healthy as well. I like seeing other creators' content. I like interacting with different people online, seeing how other people are taking up space in this world around us. And I like to give myself permission to do that, because sometimes what it is, if we're not very disciplined with the way that we govern our time, we can not only spend time being distracted, but then also waste time feeling guilty that we spent time being distracted. And I think that's just very wasteful of our energy and our time. So I'm like, okay, I give myself windows of opportunity where I will allow myself to be distracted. I think the self-awareness piece aspect is recognizing when you're being distracted. And I think a lot of people don't even recognize when their attention is being pulled away, when their attention is actually being distracted by something that's not giving them any return on investment of their time. And we need to just recognize when something is calling for our attention and we get nothing back from it. All we're doing is giving them our attention, giving them money for ad spend, but we come back with an empty tank. And I think a lot of digital media is that way. Like, a lot of digital media has zero value add. And the only way that you can really recognize that, if you start to pay attention to the things that you see intentionally, like really look at it and categorize it. So the things that I watch, I will categorize it by way of utility. And like, if I'm in a moment of period where I'm okay to be distracted and I'm watching on what I eat in a day. Like, for me, there's moderate amount of utility in that because I can get some eating ideas. If it's just someone talking about, their lived experience, depending on the context, that could be something that has utility to me. But if I'm watching something that is really just pure entertainment value, like there's no real takeaway, there's no life lesson, then that is something that really doesn't have much of a value add. And I try to be very mindful of how much time I spend doing that. So even when it is the case that I give myself the opportunity to be distracted, I still want there to be a degree of utility in what I put my time and attention into. I want there to be some sort of value add back to me for some of the period of time that I spend being distracted. I think pure entertainment is great, but I love that there are life lessons I can ponder. There are situations and circumstances I can think about, like, what would I do if I was in it? I'm actually kind of irritating to watch TV with, because I watch TV like very intentionally. Like, I'm very aware and mindful of what's happening, of the characters, of the scenes. I get really into the dilemmas, and I just kind of put myself there. I can't just turn my mind off. But in those cases, those few cases where there's just so little value that you don't need to turn your mind on at all, like if you're watching a cartoon where he's just bonking himself in the head, then I would say, like, don't spend a whole lot of time watching that. Like, if it's not making your neurons fire, it's petering them out. Not really, that was a joke. In any case, those were my 3 tips. I wanted to share that with you. This is a super quick video, but I think useful as well. Before tuning out, I would be remiss if I didn't let you know that for the foreseeable future, we will be going live at least twice a month, every month on our Facebook page, so definitely be sure to join in. These live events are paid events, but if you do see yourself participating in our community on an ongoing basis, then I suggest you purchase one of our package plans that we have posted on the website. It gives you unlimited access to the live events and also access to our webinars and workshops over and above our live events that largely focus on self-mastery so that you can derive more meaning and fulfillment out of your life. All of that to say, I hope this video finds you well and I look forward to seeing you soon.